Hello. Well, in beginning, let me tell you a story. I went to see a movie a few years ago with a friend of mine and I really felt like I was going to die laughing. At that time I felt like I couldn't take my breath, and I pressed myself to think of something else so that I wouldn't lose my balance. Jim Delakis, 40 years old, from the United States, recounted that he often exploded in laughter with his colleagues and fainted in laughter, and the first time this happened he felt he was going to die. I was on my knees and laughing hard, and suddenly I could not breathe. It was scary, but I couldn't stop laughing, said Delakis. I was crying and I was still laughing until I saw nothing but darkness. Then I opened my eyes and found myself lying on earth. Dr. Martin Samuels, professor of neuroscience at Harvard University, says that loss of consciousness during laughter is associated with increased breathing, but it is not dangerous, yet death is not far from it. Death from laughter. Yes, please, dear friends, don't be shocked. What you hear, it's true. In the 3rd century BC, the Greek philosopher Chrysippus stirred his donkey and watered it until drunk. He kept laughing at the mold hysterically until he died. Experts say his hysterical laughter caused suffocation, which resulted in a heart attack. In 1989, a Danish specialist died of laughter while watching a movie, and his heart rate rose from 200 to 500 beats per minute, until he had a heart attack. Also, a Thai ice cream seller who died after 2 minutes of continuous laughter while asleep, until his breathing was interrupted. Dr. Somchai Chakrabarti, Deputy Director General of the Department of Mental Health of Thailand, expressed his astonishment at this condition, yet he said that it is possible for a person to have a heart attack while sleeping from laughter or crying. Dr. Samuels confirms that good news is dangerous like sad or horrific news, and in some cases it causes a sudden death, as some cases came to her from strange matters, such as winning a bowling competition, or during sexual intercourse, etc. Samuels explains that excessive enthusiasm for joyful news or excessive grief over bad news, both of which activates a certain part of the brain responsible for the hit-and-run response, or confrontational or escape theory that came up as Walter Cannon in 1915 toward attitudes. And that part produces adrenaline in a large enough quantity to stop the heart or lead to a stroke, and with these rare cases, but they happened in the world already. Death from laughter refers to a rare case of death, usually caused by cardiac arrest or suffocation, which results from a bout of laughter. Laughing deaths have been recorded from the times of ancient Greece to the modern era. Laughter is an explicit expression of entertainment, fun, and sometimes other feelings. Laughter is a natural reaction of a healthy person to funny situations, and can also be a defense against spontaneous fear situations. Laughter is an expression of sympathy and mutual understanding between people, and it has been one of the means of human communication throughout history. When a person laughs, 17 muscles in the face and 80 muscles in the entire body move, and the speed of breathing increases. Chuckling is laughing out loud, and usually in all people as a response to humor. It may arise as a result of sugar after drinking alcohol. Ancient philosophers say about laughter. Aristotle: we laugh at the less of us and the ugliness of the people, and joy brings us from the feeling that we are a higher class than them. Socrates: mockery stems from self-neglect. Hegel: laughter arises as a result of the contradiction between the concept and the true underlying meaning that this concept offers. He refers to the concept as appearance. The thing that appears to us, and with laughter, it is totally denied. Freud: laughter is a phenomenon, the function of which is to unleash the wrongly filled psychological energy or false expectations. Philosopher John Muriel: human laughter has its biological origins as a form of expression when going through a danger. Peter Martinson: laughter is the response to the realization that social being is not a real thing. Some studies have shown that laughter has a difference according to the human type, meaning that it differs between males and females in terms of accepting its stimuli or a difference in the way of laughter itself. The woman makes laughter with a sharp voice and sound, while the man's voices of laughter are irregular. And when we laugh at a situation or a person, this means denying it, and this is the same for both men and women, and this kind of denial laughter is considered only a means of purifying the mind from all the negative experiences and thoughts that the soul may have in it. An example of an illustration. When a person sees another person fall to the ground, explodes in laughter, because he understands the fact that he himself refuses to fall, and with laughter, he tries to keep the negative idea of falling to the ground from his mind and thinking. But what about laughter in animals? Laughter is not limited to the human race alone, despite the observation of the philosopher Aristotle, in which he says, "He who laughs only is the human animal." The difference between human and animal laughter, such as chimpanzees, may be the adaptations that people make to make speech. On the other hand, there was an opinion of some behavioral psychologists who referred to the exit of laughter from a person dependent on self-awareness of a single position or the ability to predict the behavior of another person, so the animal does not laugh in the same way that people laugh. Some research on laughter among animals has found that there are some molecules that relieve depression, some disorders related to insufficient brain function and mood changes. Mammals other than humans are from monkeys such as chimpanzees, gorillas, and orangutans, a species of human-like apes in Borneo and Sumatra that makes laughter in response to some physical contact, such as foreplay or playing in the form of chases or wrestling. A person may not be able to know the chimp's laughter, because in its entirety it is about breathing out and entering it, inhale and exhale, meaning that its laughter is similar to the process of breathing or gasping. There are many examples that show that monkeys express their humor, just like humans. A study was conducted on newborn human babies and on young chimpanzees who were caressed physically, despite the difference in the tone of voice that was higher in young chimpanzees. But they were similar in facial expressions. Also, the little human child evokes from the same areas that stimulate the chimpanzee to laugh under the armpit and the abdominal area, and enjoy physical caresses no less than the chimpanzee as he gets older. The rats were found to weeping during play and play periods, and in foreplay. Its voice was described as tweeting, a very weak voice that a person can only hear with special tools. It has also been discovered that a mouse like a human being is stimulated by physical foreplay through his skin in certain areas of his body, and this laughter is related to the presence of feelings, emotions, and positive links between the animal and the person who caresses it, which leads to the search of the mouse for more of this foreplay. The positive response to more foreplay was found to be translated into the desire of mice to have more fun and play and to spend more time with other laughing mice. And unlike chimpanzees, the older a rat is, the less sensitive the skin will be when foreplay. Jaak Panksepp and Jeff Bergdorf did research to trace the biological origin of joy and social processes in the brain by comparing mice to the community of young children and practicing fun in the play environment. Although the research was unable to prove that the rats had a sense of foreplay, they indicated that the rats were able to laugh and express it. In another study, it was found that mice make tweet sounds before playing wrestling, taking morphine, or engaging in sexual activity, and that voice is interpreted as expecting something positive to be rewarded with it. Recently, researchers found that the infant starts to laugh after 17 days have passed. Although this fact may conflict with previous studies that indicate that infants begin to acquire laughing skills when they reach 4 months of age. Scientist Robert R. Provini, who has a PhD in studies of laughter that has lasted for decades, indicates that laughter belongs to all of us. It is part of the total human speech worldwide. There are thousands of languages and hundreds of thousands of dialects. But all he laughs one way. Everyone can laugh, and the baby has the ability to laugh before he starts to learn to speak. Even a deaf or blind child retains his ability to laugh. Proven continues his talk about laughter, saying, "Laughter is a rudimentary thing and an unconscious term. If there are people laughing more than others, this is likely due to genetic factors." To prove this, Proven referred to a study called Gigel twins, 2 female twins who had been separated since birth for 40 years, and upon their meeting they had a great ability to laugh equally, although the adoptive parents had a strict non-laughing nature, and, from here, Proven emphasized that the twins inherited the same genetic traits of laughter, as they also inherited the willingness to laugh and perhaps taste and search for a sense of humor. Modern neurophysiology connects laughter with the activation of the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, which secretes the substance LMFN after an activity in which a person feels rewarded, after eating a delicious meal, engaging in sexual activity, or after understanding a joke. Research has shown that parts of the brain have a major role in the laughter process, namely, amygdala and hippocampus. In the article of the American Medical Corporation newspaper, it was published on December 7, 1984, which describes the causes of laughter originating in the nervous system, as follows. Although the center of brain laughter is unknown or specific, its expression depends on neurological pathways related to the middle brain. The background is located near the respiratory centers, telencephalic and diencephalic. Numerous studies have shown that laughter protects the heart, indirectly, and the explanation behind this is that mental stress causes an imbalance of the endothelium, the protective endothelium of the blood vessels, and as soon as this endothelium is affected, it results in a number of reactions from infections that lead to the accumulation of cholesterol on coronary artery wall, as a final result of heart attacks. More about cholesterol. As Steve Sultanoff explains, the president of the American Association for Laughter Treatment explains, when a person laughs from his heart, the hormone cortisol, the hormone that is released when a person is under stress, is excreted a little, so when a person is in a situation of stress, and he addresses these pressures with laughter, reduces cortisol levels. As Sultanoff says, laughter increases a person's likelihood of pain, as it strengthens the body by secreting antibodies that fight infection and prevent arteriosclerosis, and then human injury to angina or heart attacks. More on angina and heart attack in the medical encyclopedia. On the FIDO website, or stroke. Sultanoff added, the person who always lives in an emotional state surrounded by frustration is the person most exposed to heart disease. The person who suffers from chronic anger and hatred for others is also more susceptible to heart attacks, and people who live anxious lives, they walk my lifestyle by making a squeeze and their arteries are blocked. There are now many types of treatment used by doctors, psychiatrists and mental health professionals, in which humor and laughter are used as a form of treatment and recovery from certain physical, mental and spiritual disorders. Some of these therapeutic methods can be prescribed for a person without limiting himself only to specialists. And the treatment of laughter tries to achieve the validity of the old saying, laughter is the best treatment, or, as Voltaire said, nature is the one that treats disease, while the art of medicine is what keeps the person in a state of psychological peace. Before we end, you must know, laughter benefits the body and mind. Achieve happiness and psychological peace. It gives you regeneration. Reduces stress. Reduces high blood pressure and heart disease. Increases your ability to meditate and relax. It strengthens the immune system and the natural defense systems in the body. Relieves pain by raising the level of secretion of endorphins. It benefits patients with bronchitis and asthma crises by increasing the oxygen in the blood that enters the lung. Increases your ability to speak to others tactfully. It develops the spirit of participation and teamwork. It gives the person self-confidence. It reduces snoring because it helps to relax the throat muscles. It enhances a person's creative ability. Increases the elasticity of the heart vessels. Increases your morale. Makes you think transparently. Exits you from the routine circle. Your eyes sparkle when you laugh and become more handsome. It increases your mental performance and your ability to keep information for as long as possible and strengthens memory. Renews energy. Destroys your conservative nature. It strengthens the abdominal muscles. Balances the chemistry of tension and pressure. It always reminds you of the most comprehensive and general image in your life, that is thinking and drawing for your future. It makes you regret what you missed and you are serious. Communicate with others more deeply. Finally, the stress of everyone who causes you distress. So my friend, don't worry, laugh as you can. Goodbye.